Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive deep into the case of Isabella Guzman, a story that shocked the nation and raised serious questions about mental health, family dynamics, and the criminal justice system. In this video, we'll cover the tragic details of what happened, the investigation, and the eventual trial. Stick around because this is a case you won't want to miss. Isabella Guzman, a 18-year-old girl from Aurora, Colorado, was arrested for the brutal murder of her mother, Sylvia Guzman, in 2013. The case attracted widespread media attention due to the violent nature of the crime and Isabella's age, as well as her seemingly disturbing social media presence. Isabella was born on September 9, 1995, in Colorado. She had a fairly normal childhood, but things started to unravel as she entered her teenage years. Her parents, Sylvia, and her ex-husband, had divorced when Isabella was very young. This led to a somewhat fractured family dynamic. Sylvia had primary custody of Isabella, and Isabella had a strained relationship with her mother. Isabella's relationship with her mother, Sylvia, had become increasingly tumultuous as she entered her teen years. Sylvia reportedly struggled with mental health issues herself, and Isabella began to rebel, leading to frequent arguments. According to some reports, Isabella's life was marked by her increasing isolation, depression, and anger toward her mother. Sylvia was described as being protective, and the two clashed often over Isabella's behavior, including her disobedience and increasingly violent tendencies. Isabella was also reportedly dealing with significant mental health struggles, including depression and possibly some undiagnosed disorders like borderline personality disorder. Her mental health deteriorated rapidly during her adolescence, leading to suicidal thoughts and self-harm. However, she didn't receive adequate treatment, and many of her psychological issues went unaddressed by her family and the medical system. On August 28, 2013, Isabella, who was 18 at the time, entered her mother's home with a plan to kill her. Sylvia Guzman was found stabbed to death inside her home in Aurora, Colorado. She had been brutally attacked multiple times with a knife, with some reports stating that there were over 30 stab wounds. The crime scene was horrific. Sylvia's body was discovered in a state of disarray, and there was evidence of a violent struggle. Isabella left the house shortly after the murder. She then reportedly went on to make a series of disturbing posts on social media, which included images of her showing off her new look after the murder. These posts gave the police vital clues about her involvement. Isabella then fled the scene, and authorities launched a massive search for her. She was soon put on the FBI's wanted list. For Isabella, after receiving reports of her erratic behavior on social media, the police were able to track her down based on eyewitness reports and social media activity. Isabella was eventually located in a nearby neighborhood, and after a brief standoff, she was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. In addition to the social media posts, authorities discovered that Isabella had a history of violent behavior, which added to the circumstantial evidence against her. Investigators also found that Isabella's phone and social media accounts were filled with chilling content, including references to her anger toward her mother and what she had done to her. During her trial, Isabella's defense team argued that she was not mentally competent at the time of the murder due to her struggles with mental illness. They suggested that Isabella was suffering from extreme mental health issues, including borderline personality disorder, depression, and possibly dissociative episodes. They claimed that these conditions might have contributed to her violent outburst. The prosecution, however, pointed to the disturbing nature of the crime and Isabella's social media posts. They argued that Isabella's actions were premeditated and intentional. The prosecution claimed that Isabella knew exactly what she was doing when she murdered her mother, and they pointed to the level of violence involved in the attack as evidence of her malice. In 2014, Isabella was found guilty of second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, though there was some controversy over the length of her sentence due to the nature of the crime and her age. Isabella's case sparked intense debates over mental illness and the justice system, with some people believing that she received too lenient a sentence, while others argued that her mental health struggles should have been taken into account more seriously. The case divided public opinion. Some believed that Isabella was a victim of her mental health issues and that she should have received more treatment rather than punishment. Others believed that the violence and premeditation of the murder were too severe to overlook. This case also highlighted the issue of how mental health is treated within the justice system. Isabella's mental health history was well documented, but she still went through a trial like any other defendant. This led to conversations about whether people with severe mental health issues should be held fully accountable for their actions or whether they should be treated differently. As of the latest updates, Isabella Guzman is still incarcerated. Reports suggest that she is undergoing treatment for her mental health while serving her sentence. Isabella's case continues to serve as a point of discussion regarding juvenile crime, mental health, and how to handle young offenders with a history of psychological issues. Isabella's case was a tragic one, involving a young woman who seemed to have been overwhelmed by her mental health struggles and family issues. The murder of her mother was a horrific act, but it also raised questions about the treatment of people with mental illness in society. Whether you see Isabella as a tragic victim or as a dangerous criminal, this case is a stark reminder of the complexities of mental health and the justice system. That's the case of Isabella Guzman. A tragedy for both the victim and the defendant, with no clear-cut answers. What do you think? Do you believe Isabella was a victim of her mental illness, or was she a cold-blooded killer? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.